Hi everyone, welcome to our monthly podcast. So what we wanted to start doing, if you guys see me looking here, I'm just looking at our YouTube channel camera. This is Bojena. She is the owner and CEO of Brinkman Insurance Agency. And I'm her executive assistant, and we wanted to do a monthly podcast on the first Friday of every month where we just kind of talk about maybe hot topics that are going on, some events and things for this month, and then bring up some kind of insurance topic that maybe would be a helpful conversation for you guys to listen and learn. So, like I said, we're going to do it the first Friday of every month, and you'll be able to see these videos on our Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and also our YouTube channel. So right now, month of February, it's Valentine's Day. Who's full of love and excitement? What do you guys usually do for Valentine's Day?
We go out to dinner and just hang with the family.
And Bojena, how long have you been with your husband?
It'll be 40 years.
They met. How old were you when you met?
18.
Oh, just a baby. So, after a while, Valentine's Day gets kind of like same old, or
Valentine's Day is what you want to make it.
yeah. Okay. So, what I wanted to let you guys know is we do also a monthly newsletter. So if you are interested in getting a monthly newsletter, it has great things. We talk about local events. Some great videos are on our newsletter, and then also some Valentine date ideas. So if you want to see what's going on our social pages and things like that, and you want to get our monthly newsletter, it only comes once a month, so it's not going to crazy spam your inbox. Then if you're viewing on YouTube, you can click on the email link that we have in the notes below and just type in newsletter in the subject line. Instagram viewers, just send us a DM that says newsletter and then include your email in it. And for Facebook Live, if you want to, just send us a message that says newsletter and include your email, okay? So,
just before we get started,
yes,
I'd like to give a big shout out to my son. It's his birthday today.
Oh,
happy birthday, Ryan!
Ryan,
I love you,
Brinkman. He's a legend. In fact, there's a video of him. How old is he today?
He's old.
No, he's not old. How old is he?
He's 39.
39. That's younger than me. You can't say he's old. So there's a great video of him. Whoops, I bumped everything. Doing like the split eagle.
He's very talented.
And isn't he like a little tipsy?
No,
he's not.
No.
So he's not a small person, but he's not big, but he's not like this dainty little cheerleader type person, and he totally hits like a full split eagle, and they got it on video. I love it.
All you need to do is bet him. He'll do things.
Anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so another topic I kind of wanted to touch on, and this is a little bit heavier. As you guys all know, Kobe Bryant lost his life with his daughter and other people in the helicopter, and it was so interesting. So our company, we offer life insurance, long-term care, property and casualty, renters, boats, all that stuff, auto, whatever. But we noticed a huge increase of people who all of a sudden wanted to get life insurance because they saw what happened.
Right. Very unexpected.
Yeah, unexpected. And what does his family do? I mean, Kobe's set up, right? He's set up. His family and kids probably don't ever have to worry. But I don't know, like, let's talk about that. Let's talk about, like, what does that look like for his family after he passes away? In my mind, I would think, okay, great. If he had life insurance and he didn't have a lot of money, then it would help pay for the funeral costs. Yes. It helps pay for any debt he has left over, like car, home, any personal loans that maybe his family would be like, how are we supposed to pay these now that the main breadwinner in our family is gone? Pay for college for his kids.
Yes.
Set them up financially. Pay for wife's retirement and cost of living so she could take care of her kids. And then also another great subject is if you have money like Kobe did and you get this life insurance policy, how can you reinvest that so that it doesn't just sit there? Like, how can you have your money make money for you?
The best life insurance to have is the one that's in force.
in the event that the breadwinner doesn't come home.
So explain what enforced means.
That somebody has purchased one and that it is still in force when the insured does not come home due to an accident or
so enforced means it hasn't lapsed, they didn't stop paying on it, it's still an active policy.
Correct.
And how can they make sure that it's enforced?
Just paying their premiums every month and paying attention to the fact that they have paid their premiums every month.
Okay. And so if he does get that policy and they have all the money that they need for his funeral and college, like all of that's taken care of, what would you suggest that people do when they do get a life insurance policy? Can they roll it over into like an IRA or IUL? Like what would you... Just an example. It doesn't have to be specific for each person. This is just an example. You guys need to know that when you get a large lump sum of money, it doesn't mean you need to spend it, and it doesn't mean that that you can't reinvest it. So there's great ways to make that money work for you and keep making money. So
absolutely. And I think to go back just a moment is that's where the planning is so important, so that everybody knows why you're leaving that money and what you would like to happen to that money.
Oh.
Whether you want your mortgage paid off, whether your debts need to be paid off, whether you want a second home, whatever those dreams and goals you had when you were here to discuss it with your family or business partners, whoever that insurance may be left for, that those things are carried through.
Oh, so you're saying that the person who gets the life insurance policy needs to have like a will or a trust that states what they want the money to go towards?
No, that's just a discussion with the family, but it is absolutely, especially in Utah, important that you do have a will or a trust.
Okay. I feel like this microphone is like totally blocking on all the other ones, but on
It's
our
a big mic.
main YouTube one, and now it can block me. Well. Okay. Okay, so there's some advice. Okay, so now let's talk about. It just kind of makes you wonder and think too. Like, do you have enough? Oh my goodness, where's this microphone going? We're gonna put it right here. Let's go. Then you have to ask yourself. Here we go.
That's far.
Can you guys still hear us? Yeah, it's very sensitive. So, do you have enough life insurance? Oh, okay, guys. Mic difficulties. I didn't even think about that in the picture, so I don't want it to block you. Do you have enough insurance? So, well, let's see. What kind of life insurance do you have, and is it enough? So what kind of insurance policy do you hold? Because you're obviously in the business.
I have a little bit of everything. I have term insurance. Term insurance is just what it's called. You have it for a certain term. Then there's permanent insurance that gives you a cash value that you can use the living benefits as well as leaving the death benefits to your family. There's a universal life product, there's an IUL product. It comes down to what the client's budget is and what they feel they can put away on a monthly basis and what they'd like to have happen with that policy.
So do you think it's a good idea to have different ways, kind of not putting all of your eggs in one basket type of situation?
Absolutely. At first, again, comes down to what can they afford to put away towards a life insurance policy. And once we've determined that, then we can pick the product that we can use.
How do you determine that? That's a great conversation. So this was interesting to me when I first started working here. My agent sat down with me and they went over my budget. So they're like, okay, well, how much do you pay for this? How much do you pay for this? How much do you kind of have left over? And of course, at first you're like, I don't have anything left over. I can't spare anything. And they're like, okay, well, can you afford... What do they ask? Like $25 or
yes,
$20?
$20 a month.
Like you can literally get life insurance policies for $20 a month. Okay, so it is very affordable. College students, a lot of the times, what kind of policies do college students usually get?
Typically, they look at a permanent policy because they don't have a lot of debt. They can afford. They're younger. They can afford to put $50 to $100 away on a monthly basis for their future.
I know my son, when he's 19, he's 21. He's turning 21 this year. I had him get a life insurance policy, and I think we decided he could afford $150 a month, which is not a lot. But I told him, don't ever stop paying on that policy. Always pay on the policy because he's so young. It's going to set him up. And you guys need to understand, life insurance is not just for when you die.
Like the right product, it's for when you're alive.
Yeah, so he could use it for his first child. He could use it for his kids' college education.
Down payment on a home, as long as he's got the money in it that he's been putting aside to use.
So it's a living benefit, and they have a really great, what do you call that? The money you get back, the returns. It has really great returns.
Yeah.
So for let's do let's do age groups. So for a college student, again, the top 3 life insurances you would recommend for like a college aged person or a young 20s, no kids yet, no home.
Again, I would probably recommend a permanent policy if the budget calls for that. So either a term or a permanent policy or a combination of the two is usually what we recommend for the for that individual.
So you guys, if you're watching this, take notes. So write down term
and
permanent, and then contact us or another life insurance agent that you know and ask, I heard that term and permanent policies might be good for my demographic or my age group. Can we look at that? Like, tell me more about it. Okay. And then someone that just got married, they're having their first baby, they're buying their first home. What kind of policy would you recommend for them?
I would probably recommend term, and as much as they personally can qualify for and afford, because we can convert that to permanent policy over time. We all understand that when you're first married, you've got babies, you've got debts, that it's a little harder to find that extra money, but putting that term in place when they're insurable and still younger is the best opportunity for them.
Yeah. And then let's say someone in their mid-30s.
30s, again, depending upon if they're married, whether or not they have debt, it's probably always comes down to the budget, what they feel they can put away, because that will determine what we recommend. If somebody can afford $9 a month, they're not going to have a permanent policy. They're going to have some amount of term. If they can afford $500 a month, we'd make different recommendations than the term.
Yeah. And some of the stories that we've heard are just like heart-wrenching in a way that is sad but also happy. Like it's such a compassionate thing to do, to be an insurance agent, because you write these policies and you go and you hoe and you hum and with these people and they're like, I don't know if I can afford this or that, or some people have lots of money and they're like, I just want to put $1 million a year away into my life policy. Because the thing is, the life policies aren't taxed. Or what's the benefit of putting a large lump sum that you have instead of just leaving it in the bank or a savings account? What's the benefit of putting it into a life insurance policy?
It grows tax deferred and goes to your beneficiaries tax free in most circumstances. So it's a way for them to grow money tax deferred, and it's a self-completing plan in the event that they don't come home. What they still wanted to have happen can continue on, because those death proceeds go to the beneficiary of that
tax free.
policy.
Like if the policy gets paid to them, they get delivered a literal check for the total amount, usually from their insurance agent. With our company, we're very, very personal with our clients. So we've had agents who have personally delivered a check to these people in their biggest time of need. Their world is falling apart. And if you don't have that, then you're like, okay, how am I going to pay for the funeral? How am I going to take care of my kids? Am I going to lose my home? Like, just everything is so unstable and scary. So to have that agent hand deliver it with a hug and like everything is going to be okay is, man, the stories we've heard.
Yeah, we did the meeting last week and it's amazing. It helps us remember why we do what we do and how important it is to have some form of life insurance in place.
Yeah. We had a meeting last weck, did you say?
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So it was about life insurance, and some of the stories that the agents got up and shared were, tear-jerking stories. But some are really happy stories, like positive ones. It's not always a sad, horrible thing. Life insurance is good.
If life insurance is involved, it's always a happy story.
Yeah.
If it's not, it's a different story. It's
yeah.
definitely a different story.
Yes. In fact, will you tell the one about that guy that they had done it and then he found out he got cancer and died? I think it was the one that your AGA, I don't want to say names, but he had to deliver to the wife up in Park City-ish area. Do you remember that policy? It was last year, and they were young.
Yes.
And the husband, do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. No pressure.
It was a young family. He did not want to ever have insurance. He had no belief in insurance, and fortunately there was an agent that convinced him, yes, you do need insurance. They went out, they went camping, and he never woke up.
Yeah, oh, that's right.
And so...
Wasn't he camping with his young son alone?
No, there was the family there, but it would be devastating to wake up and your husband doesn't wake up, and that's what occurred. But we were able to deliver that death benefit to them. It will never bring the loved one back, but it certainly allows the ones left behind to make some decisions. Think clearly and have options where if there's no insurance involved, there are no options.
Yeah.
You typically have to sell your home, move your kids to a different school district, and that's why we encourage just sit down with an agent, do a quick fact finder, find out what your budget is, and put something in place for your loved ones.
Yeah, that's so crazy. So obviously you guys get the gist of it. It's important. But once a month we want to do this where we talk about hot topics. So it's not always going to be about like, oh, life insurance this and you should do this. But I just felt like there's a saying in insurance, insure the ones you love. And that's usually in September, isn't it?
Yeah, Life Insurance Awareness Month.
Life Insurance Awareness Month is in September. And so we have this cute little saying that says, insure the ones you love. But February is the month of love. And so that just kind of came to my mind, especially with Kobe's passing. Death is kind of a funny thing. But if you guys want to know more, if you did listen to this and you're like, oh, I want to know more about the term or the other permanent policies, and you want to start planning and finding out what you can even afford, it doesn't mean you have to get it at that time, okay? It's so easy to just contact us. If you're on YouTube, you can click the email in the notes below again and type in life insurance and your contact information, and we can have someone just reach out and sit down with you for 2 seconds or even over the phone and just say, okay, what are you thinking? And it doesn't mean you have to get the policy at that time. They just want to help you give a guideline of if you wanted to start it now, what could you afford and what would that look like if you kept paying on it in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years when you retire, whatever you want. Okay, for Instagram viewers, just send us a DM that says life insurance and include your email. For Facebook Live, send us a message that says life insurance, include your email. We'll have someone reach out to you. And again, it's an easy conversation. It doesn't need to take a long time, but it's a great way for you to start planning and preparing. You don't want to be stuck. So, do you have anything left to add on our first fabulous podcast?
She gets me to do these things and I never know why, but hey, it's always fun once we start them.
And we never planned this, but we always kind of match.
Yeah.
We are both wearing black today. So, we want to do this the first Friday of every month, and we will be on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and we will post all of these videos on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is fun. We do a lot of silly videos, but a lot of really great community involvement.
Right.
Bojana has one of the biggest hearts ever, so we like to do a lot of things where we're giving stuff and taking care of people. So I hope you found value in this. If you do have questions you would like us to address in our next live, then just send us a message on those 3 ways on YouTube, Instagram Live, or Facebook, and send us a message, say, hey, next month I'd like you to address this topic. And then we'll see you again the first Friday next month.
There you go.
Happy Valentine's
Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for joining us.